Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am finally going to be giving you my preseason NFL power rankings. And no, I don't mean on how every team did during preseason. I mean my power rankings for the league after preseason was completed. I do want to say I have a lot of different opinions, and I want to redo my win video, but at the same time, I don't want to be too repetitive. So if you guys want me to do that, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll work on it before the season starts. But like I said, if you don't want to see it again, I don't take any offense. Couple of plugs as always. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks. You can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. And make sure to sign up by opening day to take advantage of the Dak Prescott free square. If you plan to play, it's silly to miss out on that because that is essentially just a free win for any entry. Anyway, that's all I got. Let's head into the video. Alright folks, so here we are at the power rankings. We are going to be working our way all the way up from 32 and ending at number 1. So starting with 32, the worst team in the league, it should come to nobody's surprise, I got the Arizona Cardinals. Look guys, I'm not saying it's impossible for you to have a good season, but I'm saying it's impossible for you guys to have a good season. I'm stunned Budda Baker is still there. They must want him to be part of the rebuild. Next up at 31, I got the Rams. Okay, you know how I just joked about the Cardinals saying it's not impossible for you to have a good season? That's how I feel about the Rams. They actually do have a possibility with Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp if he comes back. Still have Aaron Donald. I have faith in Cam Akers. I think they have a good coach. It's just that outside of that handful of players in the depth on their team, if they have one injury, they're absolutely torched. That'll bring us to number 30. Give me the Texans. I still feel strong about this team. I still think they are going to have a monumental turnaround from what they did last year. I think they'll win 6-7 games, something like that. But power-wise, on the roster, I think they are much more well-rounded than they have been, but I don't think they are spectacular. I'd feel a lot better if CJ had somebody to throw to. Just somebody other than Robert Woods and Nico Collins. Moving on to 29, we got the Colts. This team's a mess. They always have been a mess, but they've got some absolute studs when it comes to offense and defense. They're Shaquille Leonard, DeForest Buckner, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman's underrated. I think AR is going to be a beast. But again, that's all projection, and they have to avoid injury because their depth is not tremendous. And now we got 28. Give me the Bears. Just like I said about the Texans, I think they are going to have a great turnaround. They'll win 6-7 games compared to their 3 last year. But watching Justin Fields in preseason, he did not progress as a passer really all that much. Okay, Kenny Pickett, he progressed. Justin Fields, no. Dude, his game versus the Bills, I'm not going to lie, Bears fans. You might even agree with me. I didn't see one good throw. If teams figure out the run, which they already kind of have with him, he needs to be able to throw. If he can't, it's going to be a really, really bad thing. Aside from that, your team did get a lot better, but I just don't think I can put you outside of the bottom 5 yet. All right, moving on to 27, we got Tampa Bay. Look, 2 things here. I hate your coach, and I think your O-line is going to be an absolute disaster. You drafted that bum last year that they're going to move over, which now they have to move Tristan Wirfs in order to move him. And your center just got hurt for the entire year, Ryan Jensen. So you have a huge hole. Defense, yeah, you have some weapons. I don't think it's the most complete. And Baker Mayfield did look really good in preseason, which is encouraging, but I don't think this team is going to be very good this year. Moving on, we got 26. Give me the Tennessee Titans. Look, you guys already know this. I don't love this team. I love the coach, but I don't love the team. I don't love the defense. I don't love the offense. Now, I will say if the offensive line is a brick wall, they could be electric, but that has to happen first. And until it does, well, they're at 26. Moving on to 25, we got Atlanta. Look, I love the defensive moves that this team made, and I actually really like the addition of Taylor Heineke. It might be small, but he is a very capable quarterback, especially if Desmond can't develop. They're gonna have an option to get the ball down the field. Not to mention, this is kind of a big what-if scenario, but the addition of Bijan Robinson on the offense, joining Kyle Pitts and Drake London, it gives me a lot of hope. Just like the Titans, man. Could be electric. Moving on to 24, we got the Carolina Panthers. Look, my Bryce Young stock went up. I like Frank Reich as the coach. I think the Miles Sanders addition is going to really help that offense. And when it comes to their defense, I have an infatuation with their players for some reason. Always loved J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, even Jeremy Chin, although last year he seemed to be kind of quiet. This team, honestly, doesn't have a bad roster if you're asking me. Moving on to 23, we got the Raiders. I know I dump on this team a lot because of Josh McDaniels, but roster-wise, it's actually pretty underrated. Their offense, Josh Jacobs is back. They still have Adams. Jimmy passed his physical. They can score. Defensively, they could have one of the best D-lines in the game now, having Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, and Tyree Wilson if he comes up. And I think they got Marcus Peters. 23 might even be snubbing him slightly. All right, 22, give me the Commanders. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't know Sam Howell was the second coming of Christ. I really didn't know. Makes me view your offense completely differently. You have great receivers. Your D-line is great. But you will never ever get me to admit Ron Rivera is a good coach. That guy fucking sucks. Moving on to 21, we got Green Bay. Look, I think this team flat out is gonna actually be a little bit better than people are thinking. People still think Jordan Love is just terrible, and that's not true. Now, I will say I don't love your receivers, but I love your running backs, and I think your defense has probably the best corner in the league currently, as well as 2 great DEs. But I do think your coach is a tremendous fraud. 20, New England. Hey, they had a top 8 defense last year. There's no reason that's probably going to fall a whole lot. And to be fair, their offense got a lot better, and I know I undershadow that a lot, but that's because I just more so look at the addition of Juju and not so much at the addition of Bill O'Brien, which is going to matter a hell of a lot more than a guy who does a fucking TikTok dance in the end zone once a year. 19. This is a very unfortunate one. The Saints. And I say unfortunate, not at the aspect of because I wanted to put you guys lower. It's unfortunate because you guys have a fantastic team. You guys have a loaded offense. You have a loaded defense. It's just the fact that your coach is ass. Ass! Now we got 18. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett's stock shot through the roof. George Pickens' stock shot up considerably. It's never been a defensive problem here. Honestly, I don't think as long as I've been watching football, their defense has always been really good. It's been offensive inconsistencies and a depleting O-line over the years. It's going to be a big year for Pittsburgh because if Kenny has time like he did in preseason, this is going to be a top 10 team in no time. All right, number 17, give me the Vikings. I've been underrating them, actually, I think slightly. I have all the faith in the world in their offense. I think Jordan Addison looks tremendous. Madison, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a downgrade from Cook, but their defense might not be as terrible as I think. Murphy looks incredible, and Flores is going to change a lot, just like how Bill O'Brien's going to change a lot on the New England offense. That brings us to 16. Give me Denver. I've talked good about them. I still think they're going to do good, but it's, again, a what if. What if Sean Payton somehow doesn't turn that team around? What if they're terrible? I don't want to think that's true. I think they have a lot of great players. I think they have a top 3 corner in the league. I think they have one of the best safeties in the league. But again, defense isn't their problem. Really never has been. It's been their offense. So can Sean make it work? Next up at 15, give me Detroit. I don't want to give them too much hype. This probably is too much hype, but I do love the team. I think their defense took a big step up. Gardner Johnson should be ready week 1. The only thing about this team that I don't like, and it's just a constant headache, seems to be Jamison Williams. Is he ever going to get to actually play and be part of this offense, which he would help so much? And that puts us at 14, where we are met by the New York Giants. They're a good team, no way around it. I don't think any aspect of the team is necessarily bad. Excited to see what Danny and Darren Waller can do. I'm excited to see Danny run around a little bit more. Most importantly, I'm ready to see Dayball continue to take that franchise to a level that they haven't experienced in a very, very long time. Give me 13, we got the Jets. The question mark's a lot smaller with this team, even though it still does exist. Obviously, they pieced together an offense that looks like it could potentially win a Super Bowl, and their defense was already star-studded. It's just, can they match now? Will it work? Only one way to find out. They've got to play, but on paper, that's a pretty good-looking team. All right, spot number 12 goes to Jacksonville. Dude, Calvin Ridley looks so good, man. The team is only going to improve from what they were last year, but the improvement is going to be monumental. This is nothing against Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. Like, they made it work, but I think Calvin Ridley, I mean, he might finish top 6, top 7 in receiving yards. Like, he is going to make that offense go BAM! Number 11, Seattle. Got Bobby Wagner back, drafted Devin Witherspoon, drafted Jackson Smith. This seems to be the year where Seattle's actually going to have the lockdown defense that they've needed for the offense to just absolutely blow by teams. Plus, Jamal is back too if he's not worthless. Now we got 10, Baltimore. To be honest, it's kind of where any complaints stop because Baltimore, I really don't have any. Like, you've heard me criticize their offense before, but honestly, Zay Flowers, he looks like a dog. Lamar seems to be throwing okay. Team should be healthy. I mean, I see them fighting for the AFC North, definitely. Number 9, Cleveland. Wyatt, how could you? Because I am drinking the Kool-Aid again, still. Plus, Deshaun Watson, I mean, I know maybe I'm taking too much out of preseason. Maybe I'm taking too much out of training camp, but I'm seeing him make throws that I saw him make back when he was in Houston. They probably got the most disruptive defense in the league. Got the best running back in football. They got a good offense, man. I like it. That brings us up to number 8, Miami. Still think offensively they will be tremendous, top 5 in the league, but the defense will miss Jalen Ramsey, and like I just stated, I don't have the faith in Bradley Chubb that this team does. was. I don't think he is all that. 7, the Chargers. 7th best roster in the league if you're asking me, and I'm sticking by my guns. I'm doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. This team will not make the playoffs. Again, it's all management there. It ain't the roster, clearly. It's management. Man, do they have a good team, though. Like, goodness gracious, I feel like they have a top 5 player at nearly every position right now. That brings us to number 6, Dallas. They got Trey Lance if Dak doesn't work. I don't see that happening, but aside from that quarterback dilemma that's going on there right now, apparently, there is not one aspect of this team that I have a worry of doubt for. It's hard to paint a team as pretty as the Dallas Cowboys right now, and it might sound like I'm glazing them, and maybe I am, but I won't sound like an asshole when they actually do really good this year because they're going to. Number 5, San Francisco. They're a great team as well. The only thing I'm just not convinced about there, it's gonna sound weird, is the quarterback. Maybe it won't sound weird to some people. Like, I just want to see more out of Purdy to really think that he is gonna be that guy there. But otherwise, I mean, this has been the same 49ers elite dominant team that I feel like we've been looking at for the last 3 years. Obviously with the addition of CMC. 4, Buffalo. You know, I don't want to go too in depth here because I'm just gonna sound like a biased fan, but genuinely, I do think that they have one of the best teams, especially with the defense that's going to be healthy. Vaughn wants to play week 1. I don't know if they'll let him, but we're still going to have Micah Hyde. We're going to have Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Taron Johnson, Kiar Elam, Rusu, Ed Oliver, Epinesa. Like, their D-line is actually deadly, man. I just wish on their offense they had a better wide receiver too, and that's no disrespect to Gabe, but people can't keep acting like that man is going to be CeeDee Lamb or something, because he's not. And of course, their O-line could always improve. Anyway, team number 3. I'll give it to the Bengals. I will not lie, I think that Buffalo has 10 times of a better defense, but I think the Bengals have a considerably better offense, and that team, this kills me to say it as a Bills fan. I look like a Bengals fan right now. This is fucked. Anyway, it kills me to say it, but Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, they seem to be able to score on command when they need to, when it matters the most. Buffalo, they'll do it 90% of the time. Bengals, they seem to never miss, and I mean that so literally. Team number 2. Actually, why don't we just do 1 and 2 at the same time, because it's gonna sound cliche that I have the Super Bowl matchup as my top 2 teams, but let's just talk about it. Philly has an unbelievable team with an unbelievable unmasked amount of talent. They have depth too. They have players who can get hurt and they can still survive. Probably one of the best receiving duos in the league, one of the best offenses in football. But the reason they are not number 1 is because they don't have Patrick Mahomes, they don't have Andy Reid, and they don't have Travis Kelce. The Chiefs are the only team, or I'm sorry, those 3 are the only 3 that I legitimately think can move to every single team right now without changing any aspect other than the head coach, quarterback, and tight end, and make a team a playoff team. I'm convinced Andy Reid could do it. So with that being said, that's why the Chiefs remain number 1 to me. As long as those 3 are there, and until I see them sink, they're the best team in the league to me. They're the team to beat. And yeah, I'm gonna go brush my teeth after I say it, but Kansas City is number 1. And that is gonna do it for my preseason power rankings, everybody. If you did enjoy this video, you already know what to do to show support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I do my best to post on this channel every single day. However, with everything I just said, I'm gonna hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.